First responders, thank you for all that you do. I'm Garrett Martin of the Alberta First Responder Mortgage Program, a program I put together myself. After spending 8.5 years in law enforcement, I got my mortgage broker's license, and now I'm a proud sponsor of the Alberta First Responder Association and doing mortgages for first responders. No matter where you are in Canada, reach out. We're talking exclusive rate discounts, cashback offers, and guidance from someone who's been in your boots. I know the demands of the job, and I know how to make homeownership easier. Whether you're buying, renewing, or refinancing, I'll compare top lenders from across Canada to save you money. So visit GarrettMartinMortgages.com or text me at 403-915-1025 and let's get to work for you. Thank you for your service.
Sirens, Slammers, and Service, a podcast for female first responders by female first responders. My name is Nikki Cloutier, and I will be your host. As a former correctional officer in Alberta for almost 2 decades and the founder of Blue Line Fitness Testing, which provides law enforcement fitness testing and first responder wellness workshops, I started this podcast as a way for female first responders to share the trials, tribulations, and triumphs of their daily work. I want to showcase the unique perspectives, skill sets, and personalities that women bring to a first responder career and share their stories. So get ready to laugh your ass off, learn a whole bunch, and be inspired by some pretty badass women. Let's go. Hey guys, we are back, and today I am joined all the way from Vancouver Island by Hannah Flahr. Hannah is the owner of Regulate the Responder, started this business in 2023, and it's basically about first responders for first responders. I'm going to let her break it down for us. Her husband is a firefighter, and she's been a yoga teacher since she was 18. And these classes and sessions that she holds and the instructors that work for her that hold, they are for our first responder community. They recently ran a session at Island Ignite. So if you listen to the episode with Deborah Rogers earlier in the season, she talked all about that camp for fire on the island. And they Regulate the Responder got to run an event there, which I think was super cool. So I'm going to jump right into it. Hi, Hannah. How are you?
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Like I said, I've been looking forward to this episode for forever because, as most of our listeners know, I'm also a yoga instructor. So anytime I get to talk to yogis, anytime I get to talk to other instructors, I'm like, oh my God, let me soak in all of your knowledge. Let's share, let's talk, let's mingle, because it's just, that's the way you learn. For me, at least, that's the way I learn. And I just always come away from an interaction with another yoga instructor with some little nugget that I love to then go and share to my classes. And I think that's kind of the beauty of the yoga community, is just like, you hear something, or you hear a cue, or you hear like somebody will read something and you kind of go, oh my God, yes, that resonated with me. If it resonated with me, it's going to resonate with other people. So just, yeah, so like fangirling, so excited about this one. So tell me, because I don't really know much. We just were introduced through Deborah. Thanks, Deborah. Love you. Like my little connection guru there. But what kind of led you into this? You said you started teaching yoga. You started practicing when you were 16 and then started teaching when you were 18. So you've been at this for a while. And now, yes, ambassador for Lululemon on Vancouver Island. Sick. I love that. Running Regulate the Responder. You're the owner of this business and doing these sessions. So how did all of this come to be?
Well, I feel like lots of impactful pursuits, kind of creative endeavors, you kind of marry seemingly unrelated things together, right? And so, yes, I started practicing yoga in a very small one stoplight town. I was so not like my friends at that. They all kind of turned their heads like, what are you doing? But I stuck with it. And so yoga, I started practicing young, teaching young. And then the reason why I started teaching was I was actually put on a wait list for university. So my undergraduate degree, I wanted to be an exercise physiologist, work with the body. And I got put on this wait list. So I thought, I got a year to kill. Might as well learn the body. So I did my yoga teacher training. So finished the yoga teacher training and then finish my degree in exercise science. I became an exercise physiologist. And then I went on to pursue a master's degree in workplace health. So I flew all the way to Australia to do that. Scared everybody I knew that I wasn't coming back. And when I graduated from that master's degree, I was a workplace health consultant. And so what I would do is I would fly around to different parts of Australia and I would lead physical activity initiatives in different workplaces. And so my whole master is focused on bringing physical activity specifically to shift workers. So I studied for 2 years how to bring physical activity into the shift working population. And I primarily worked with nurses, actually, to begin with. And I graduate, I start flying around Australia, and I'm leading these physical activity initiatives. And I was so drawn to first responders right from the beginning. Yes, it was impactful to be in the bank and to be in the law firm and to be in the forestry, but I felt like things landed and I was able to communicate and be a little bit more deliberate when it came to people on the front lines. So this all happens. And then my partner is a firefighter, and he actually at the time was a professional rugby player. And so he played for Canada, and he also played for Seattle. And so he was actually flying every couple of months at the end of a tour back to Australia to live with me. So we're doing this dance back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 2020 happens. We both end up in Canada. He starts his journey to become a firefighter and then regulate the responders. So he began as a volunteer. He started a volunteer position, and he would usually just come to class with me. And what came so loudly on a cold, rainy November night was when he finally got his pager. And I was about to go teach a class. And I said, "Are you coming?" Because he normally comes. And he kind of looked at me and then looked at the pager, looked at me, pager, me. And he had to choose. In that moment, he had to make a choice. Do I come to yoga, or do I just stand by on guard with this pager? And I was like, well, what's up with this? How many other people are in this world that have to commit to either staying kind of on guard and being in their homes and just kind of making sure they can respond and make a choice? Like, do I stay by my pager as a volunteer firefighter, or do I go to yoga? I said, this is ridiculous. I might as well make classes for firefighters so that they can show up, and they need it more than a lot of us. So that was kind of the beginnings of how it happened.
Unreal. Oh my God. Okay. So first of all, your husband was a professional rugby player. I play rugby. Who is your husband?
His name is Brock.
Oh my God. Okay. I love this. This is hilarious because yes, I play rugby. I played rugby for 30 years. So I'm like, oh, and he played for Canada? Okay. So chances are I know who he is because like, it's not that big of a community. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay. So cool. So, and yoga, 100%. Rugby players, we fucking need the yoga. That's why I started doing yoga. 100%. That's why I started doing yoga, because I was like, my body is broken. And this was like, when did I start? I started in 2013. So was that 12 years? And I was like broken back then. I've still played for the last 12 years. So it's just get more broken, right? And so I was like, I need yoga to not be broken. And it took me like that little bit of that kind of first year of practicing into like beyond the like, I need this to stretch, and I need this because my body is broken, to be like, oh, I need this because my mind fucking needs this, because I am 100 miles an hour all the time, yang energy out the fucking wazoo. That's me. And so that whole like slow down, breathe, be calm, fucking sit with your thoughts. Like, I hated it for the whole like first year. I was the one, I've said this before in episodes. I was the one that would be like the ninja, like silently, like rolling out of the studio, like rolling my mat up so I didn't have to do shavasana. Like I was like, fucking no. And then one day it totally hit, and I was like laying there, and I was like, oh my God, oh this is it. This is it. I found it. I figured it out. All these other yogi people, that what they were talking about, like I figured it out. And now again, as I say, it happens. It becomes your favorite thing to do is to lie on the floor in complete stillness and just breathe and be focused on what's going on in your body. And like through my career, yoga was like a savior for so many things. When I didn't know what to do, go do yoga. When I had too much going on in my brain, go do yoga. Like, so I completely get that from the rugby side of things, but then also from that first responder side of things. And I think that there is that choice that people make. And maybe it's not as physical of a choice as like, I have this pager that I have to kind of be with, but I also want to do this for my body. It's that I know I should go do it, but I don't have the time in quotation marks. I'm too tired in quotation marks. Like I'm working shifts and the classes don't match my schedule, quotation marks, right? It's still a choice. It's still a choice. And so we are kind of handcuffed by that choice. Do we do what we know we need to do for our bodies and our minds and our spirits? Or do we keep continuing with the I'm too busy, I'm too tired, I'm too sore to do yoga. I heard that one the other day. I'm too sore to do yoga. And I was like, I think what you mean is that you need to do yoga because you're so sore. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what you're saying to me.
Right. I know. Yes. You made so many good points there with that. Like you named all the barriers. So when I studied and I looked at shift workers, the primary barriers to physical activity were, I'm too tired. It's like not accessible for me. Like I can't get there in time. The times don't work with my schedule. Like everything that you just named, I don't want to sit with my thoughts, all of it, right? That was all part. And so like now, fast forward to regulate the responder, what we do is we bring yoga classes and the instructor and the mats into the department. And that alleviates so many barriers right out of the way. In addition, the no time, no space, like it's all here for you right now. Even the financial barrier of like, you don't have to pay for this. This is through your department, but also the page. So that doesn't necessarily make so much of a difference with the career departments. If you're when we're in a career department and we're teaching yoga there, like they're working, right? Whereas in a paid on call environment, which is what a lot of Vancouver Island is, they don't have to worry. If they have their pager, the page goes off, no problem. Middle of class, tones go off. Okay, we clear out. We all have a protocol. We move over. We know the rhythm. They go. Maybe one truck goes. Maybe both go. Maybe it's a stand down, right? So it's all there for you. It's all there for you, and you're in your house. I'm coming to your house. You're not coming to the community center where there's some, words that you don't understand. There's some smells that you don't love. And there's that feeling of like, oh my, when it gets to the quiet moment, I can't get out of here. There's none of that. We're in your house. It's yours. You want to get up? You're an adult. Get up, go pee, come back. You want to twiddle your thumbs while I'm talking? Do it. No problem. So it ticks a lot of boxes when you bring, and this all came from just, I guess, observation and study too, right?
I love what you're saying, because that is part of it too. And like, I think like having, like, because of course I want everybody to do yoga. I tell people all the time, every person that I meet, I'm like, you need to do yoga. Like, I'm doing yoga. But when I come up against the mostly male population that are in first responder careers, it's like, I'm not going to go do fucking yoga with women in tights. Like, I'm not going to go, well, like, I know. And then people are going to think I'm a creeper because I'm in there and I'm the only guy in the class. I'm not going to fucking go. And I'm like, okay, so first of all, stop. A, that's stupid. B, if you're not being a creeper, you're fine. If you're being a creeper, I'm gonna call you out. Don't be a fucking creeper in the yoga class. Like, come on. But like, it's the, or like, but I can't do any of those things. Like, I can't do any of it. And so that hamstrings them, and like, well, I can't even touch my toes. So why the fuck would I go to a yoga class? And I'm like, okay, again, you can't touch your toes. This is a key part of that sentence. You can't touch your toes. So you need to come to yoga, because you should be able to touch your toes. Like that is something that the human body should be able to do, right? And so I think it's that fear, definitely the fear of like looking stupid, feeling stupid, somebody seeing them again in a community like gym or like in a group fitness class. Like anybody could walk by and could see them doing yoga and like, what are you doing? Why are you doing yoga? Why aren't you doing weights? Right. So I think there's that, but I think then the other side of them is that like personal mental side of like, I can't do that. Like, that's not me. I'm not a yogi guy. I'm a weightlifter guy, or I'm a CrossFitter, or I'm a marathon runner. Like, okay, well, all of those types, you still need yoga. You still need mobility. I would say, personally, I say yoga, but like, you need mobility. Like, you need to stretch. You need to like move your joints in ways that are healthy, that are going to help you have longevity through your life, let alone your career. Like, these are all things that you still need. If you want to put the label of it's a yoga class on it, then fair play. But if not, just fucking go stretch. Like, just go do that. Because that alone, you have to sit with your thoughts while you stretch, and you think, this is really fucking uncomfortable because I can't reach my toes, and this is actually really fucking hard, right? So
oh yeah. And I mean, again, like it's amazing. You're literally seeing me, but like, this is what I knew going into this, because Brock he's going to sue me so bad for saying his name, but you know what happens. But what I knew going in was like, there are going to be those, like, I'm going to go up against that. It's a primarily male dominated, but I oversaw, like, you know, you see the benefits of yoga, and after doing it for so long, like, I was willing to just fight that fight because I knew the benefits. And so I had a couple angles to approach, right? And over time, the angles have gotten bigger and more broad, and I can kind of create a statement to bring yoga, or like to entice people into yoga in their departments, just based on, you know, the vibe that I get. But when I started, the very first time I started this, I knew that I was going to bump up against the yoga. Nope, in here, wrong, like so apprehensive. There's so many ideas. I came in like a long black shirt. Like I would go, you know, I'd come in like this long, like I looked almost like I was in a uniform, just like that's how presentable I wanted to be, you know, no tights. Even though I'm the ambassador, no tights. I was in nothing. And what I did was to start the bus here, I went through the literature and I looked at all the primary injuries associated with firefighting, and I did a small review. And then with that, so the primary injury sites for fire, lower body strains and sprains, lower limb, and then low back. And so then what I did with all of my information, all of my education, I built out a standardized sequence that supports the prevention of the primary injuries associated with fire service. And so included in that were two pretty paramount breathing practices. So most people are familiar with box breathing. So we do that at the end. That's a good one for, you know, after activation or in an anticipatory situation. Something's coming, something just happened. I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to box breathe out of it. Or I just did something, I hated it, I'm going to breathe out of it. And then the first breathing practice is 3-part breath. So fire service, they work with SCBA, they work with supplemental air, right? And so being able to train your lung capacity, being able to use the full capacity of your lungs. So what I did was I made this sequence. So a bunch of postures in the middle that are all tailored to support the functional needs of a firefighter. And then the 2 breathing practices that also go hand in hand with the occupation. And I ran a pilot because it's just a pilot. So I went to a few fire departments and I put out a little expression of interest, and I ran a 4-week pilot project. So 1 yoga class a week for 4 weeks. And I took functional movement screening pre and post, and I took mental health screening, just the WHO-5, which is like World Health Organization basic stress test, took that pre and post. And then with that data, I had 30 firefighters across 3 pilot sites. I took all that data. The results were wonderful. And then from there, I was off to the races. I said, you know what? Consider it injury prevention. And then from then on, we've taught over 200 classes. I don't even know, over 200. We've taught to over 150 firefighters, over 15 fire departments. So I needed that little pilot to just be the little finesse. And then it's functional mobility, just like you said. Okay, you don't want to do yoga? Okay, well, we're doing functional mobility for your job so that you don't leave early and retire because you have a back injury. And that's it.
I fucking love that you did it through science, though, because sometimes like and I said this, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I said, like, we run on data. Like, that is what the world and agencies, especially like municipal agencies, government agencies, they run on data and statistics. If you can show me why we should spend this money, chances are you're probably going to get, you know, like the money. If you can show me that this is worthwhile because X amount of people are going to use it, then we'll do it, right? So as long as we have the data, then you can do it. If you come in, unfortunately, with an idea with no data behind it, oh, that's really nice. Okay, great. But like, no, right? So I love that you actually took it and you were like, here's actual, this is actual stats. This is actually what we did. And then the other part I love is that you did it based on the science from before. Like, these are the injuries that you get. This is already done. This data has already been done. This is already out there. And now here's something that's tailored to those injuries, tailored to that prevention, tailored to that, you know, strengthening or mobility that you need to prevent that stuff from happening. And then let's throw the breath work in there too, because that's the other part that people get super, you know, oh, I'm not going to do this airy fairy breath work, like breath, I just breathe, right? And like, some people, again, have got on with the tactical breathing because we can't call it box breathing. We call it tactical breathing, right? Because if we call it box breathing, well, then it's yoga. But if you call it tactical breathing, It's the same fucking thing, guys. Same fucking thing, okay? So tactical breathing and box breathing is the same thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I feel like most people that have listened to my episodes know, but box breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Or if that stresses you out, because lots of people get stressy on the hold for 4, I usually teach inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 4, hold for 2, because some people they start to get that panicked feeling. But yeah, box breathing. And then 3-part breath, love 3-part breath. I love, though, that you also were able to spin it in like, this is SCBA. So you need your lungs to fully expand. And when your lungs are trained to fully expand, you're not an air hog. And so you're not going to suck all the air out of the tank and be the fucking guy that has to trade out every 10 fucking minutes because you don't know how to breathe. Like, it's perfect. Like, if there's a better way, not to trick, because we didn't trick them, we fucking scienced them into it. But like, if there's a better way to science people in to like what they actually physically need to do for their jobs and for their bodies, like, girl, you fucking nailed it. Like, well done.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's important. It's so important. And I think to the standardized nature, so the sequence, it's not every time I go in. And this is something that I initially, right, to get in the door. So we're in the door. This is like the Sega, the journey. So now we're in the door. Now we're in departments, right? And so it's just me teaching to all these different departments scattered around. And I started with the standardized. So it's the same thing every time. And that was that's what I studied, right? I didn't want to throw, all of a sudden we're doing arm balance, right? No, now we're sticking to the program. But what I found was there is so much going on in their lives that if I was to come in every Thursday, like they know I'm going to, and teach something different, that's one more thing that's a little bit too chaotic. So having that standardized rhythm, not only it was predictable, I know exactly what's coming, but they got to measure their progress. So over time, you can see, I couldn't touch my toes before, now I can. And you get to stick to the rhythm, and you can start to get a little bit deeper into your poses. You get a little bit more attuned with your body. So the familiarity, not only does it kind of further support your musculature, like on a skeletal level, but it helps the mind because you can relax. There's no surprises here. Hannah's going to say the exact same thing, or whoever's leading, which helps too, because then obviously with the expansion, I'm only one person. I can't teach to every department here. So having that standardized sequence since the inception of this, now I host about 2 teacher trainings a year, and I bring in, whether you're an exercise physiologist, a kinesiologist, you can be a firefighter, a massage therapist, an ally, somebody who just wants to learn. You can come in 4 hours. We walk through the science behind it. We walk through the current literature. So I pull up the relevant, what's new. And then we go through the sequence. You learn the sequence, and then you can either bring it back to your department, because I've kind of found that Flahr, you kind of like to keep it in the family. Like they like to train up someone. Like then they're trained, and then we'll handle it now. So you know what? Cool. If you want to bring yoga and you do, come on in, let's learn it, and then you take it back. So that standardized nature, it makes it really easy to just keep giving it away and away and away so that it goes further, because I don't want it to be just me. I want as many people who feel the pull to do this, to do it. And so the standardized 1 series, 45 minutes, 2 breathings, a little bit of movement in the middle, you're off to the races.
That's awesome. I agree. I think the same thing every week. So when I first started doing yoga, I went just to a couple kind of random classes here, there, and everywhere. And then that was right when the Groupon was kicking off. Yeah. And so we had a Bikram studio in Edmonton. And I was like, okay, again, what the yang side of me is like, we're not just going to do the laying down yoga. We're going to do the inferno yoga in the fucking hot room, and we're going to sweat our balls off, and we're going to do the hardest things that we possibly can. So what did I sign up for? I signed up for Bikram, and I almost fucking died on the first class, not going to lie, because exactly like you said, they're gone now, obviously for obvious reasons. If you haven't seen the Netflix fucking thing, watch it. But it's very strict. You don't leave the room. You don't drink water until you're told to drink water. It is very strict, which scared the shit out of me, because I was like, no, I'm the one that's in control. Not you, fucking yoga person. The first responder, I'm the one that's normally in control. So being told that I couldn't leave the room when I was starting to fucking panic because it was so hot and I was fucking dying, that scared the shit out of me. Being told I couldn't drink water when I needed to drink water. And all I was doing was like looking at my water and being like, oh my gosh, I want my fucking water. When do we get water? But after I got through the first couple sessions, because it's the exact same thing, the same 42 poses. So then after that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not panicking as much because I know what's coming next. I know that we have 4 more poses and then we get to finally fucking lay down on the floor. Thank God. I can get through 4 poses. I can do it because then we're going down to the floor and it's cooler on the floor and I'm not going to die, right? So there was that. But there was also, oh yeah, last week I couldn't do this. Last week I couldn't put my head towards my knee. I could barely fucking hold my foot out and try and do it. So like, yes, the sequence, the being able to personally track, because I think the other thing with yoga is people like look around and they're like, oh, well, even though it's supposed to be the most non-judgmental space in ever, fucking everybody judges everybody. Everybody judges themselves, right? That you're in downward dog and you're looking and you're like, well, that my down dog doesn't look like that, or my heels don't touch the floor, or I can't lift my leg that high, or I can't rotate in my twist, like my tits get in the way and I can't get there, like, right? So you're judging when you're not supposed to be, but like when it's you doing your own thing and you realize, oh, like today I can rotate, like, oh my God, look at my, like I'm way more than I was last week. Okay, great. The other side of that is don't get upset when like the next week you can't do it again, because that's just your body. Sometimes your body wants to do it. Sometimes your body doesn't want to do it. Sometimes you have great balance one day and then you fall on your fucking face the next day. So, but yeah, like that sequencing is perfect. And then being able to share it out, brilliant.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said. Like you said, Bikram, like, yes, Bikram was standardized, but lots of like, the traditional yoga, like there's a Ashtanga primary and an Ashtanga secondary. So there is something to be said about the standardization of following something. So in addition to being able to manage your progress, like there's something meditative about moving and knowing. There's something calming about knowing what's coming next, right? Even if it's, I get to drink a fucking sip of water here.
Totally. So I want to jump back to the science of it. So what did you find, or like, what are you finding? Because now you obviously have like 150 subjects or clients or whatever that have done this. Like what were some of the key, like, oh my God, like, aha, yes, kind of moments that came out of that study?
Yeah. So the first study, the 30, the primary was just, to be really honest, I was just so thrilled to see improvements in anything. So we were very, it was functional movement screening. So like we did a handful of different movements. So like an inline lunge, we did shoulder mobility, we did a core test, we did a balance test, we did a breathing test. And overall, like from pre and post, the most significant findings were mostly in the hamstring flexibility, which surprised me, and in the shoulder mobility. And these were, the sample size was 30, right? But those were the 2 places where we actually saw significant improvement. And then the rest was more or less, like over 50% improved type thing. So significant, over 50. And then the rest was just kind of situational, different individuals. But I'd say the hamstring flexibility and the shoulder mobility were the primary improvements across all, which was wonderful to see that this actually made that much of an impact, right?
Yeah. Especially considering like when we talk about low back pain, we talk about, can you touch your toes? We talk about like, again, functional movement, bending down to pick something up. That's hamstring flexibility. And so if you don't have it, it's going to cause that pain. It's going to cause that tightening, right? So that alone. And then shoulder mobility, like, in every first responder job, that is, I want to say, the second most common injury is shoulders somehow, either pulling tools out the wrong way, lifting something up the wrong way, restraining somebody and it goes south, the shoulder goes. So those 2 areas, that alone, I would be like, this is why this needs to be brought into every single department everywhere.
Totally. Right? Wouldn't that be nice? You just jogged my memory though when you said that, because what I did do in the intake, I did have a bit of an intake process just because I could only take so many people, right? And so I did ask in the very beginning that classic question of like, what interests you about this program? Or like, and like, are you committed to all 4? Like all 4, not 3, 4, you guys, like all 4. And those were like my 2 introduction questions. And if they said yes, and they gave me an answer, I was like, okay, you're in.
Yeah.
And so in the beginning, when I wrote, and I actually pulled up the testimonials, like I have them here, or some of the forms here, so I can read some of them, just so you can hear some of the answers that they said. So what interests you? 98% flexibility, mobility, flexibility, mobility, flexibility, mobility, like nonstop, injury prevention, flexibility, mobility, right? Nonstop. But then at the end, once programs actually started up right after this pilot, why do you keep coming? Had nothing. Why they still come has nothing to do with flexibility and mobility. It was never about the flexibility and mobility. That's just what they said, you know?
Yeah.
Now, why people stay, it is so much more than that. Like, it is the answers that I get from that question of why do you stay or why do you keep coming back? Nothing to do with injury prevention.
Yeah. I think that is, I feel like as human beings, it's easier for us to justify needing something physical than it is to justify needing something mental or spiritual. If you can, because my low back hurts, that's why I need to go to yoga or do stretch or whatever, because my low back hurts. Well, what else is like affiliated with your low back hurting in your body that maybe also needs a little bit of care and attention, which it will get during this class when you sit in your body and process, and your body can physically process what it needs to, but your mind is also processing things. Like, I have a good friend, she's in for like fascial maneuvers and stuff like that, and to me that's fascinating. I love the human body. I've said this before. I love the human body. I think it's just an incredible thing that we know so little about, and just the different things that people, find out every day, that are discovered about the human body every day, is fascinating to me. But to have that thought of like, our emotions do stay trapped in our bodies and you don't even know it, but it manifests as pain, as physical pain somewhere. And we only listen when it's physical pain. We don't listen when it's mental or spiritual pain. And if we could get to the point where we recognize we've had, like you said, a holy shit, that was really bad, and I need to like breathe that out. If we could do that and recognize that, then a lot of it wouldn't manifest into physical pain, but we don't. And so then we get to that pain point and then we're reactive on that. Okay, well, now I got to go to physio. Now I got to go to yoga. Now I got to do it. But if we can bring this in now before, like, I would love to see this come into recruit training. I think that would be fucking brilliant. Right. And teach them then, okay, so when this happens, this is what you need to do. Before this stuff happens, this is what you need to do. Because then when it happens, your body's going to know how to process it and it's not going to hold on to that pain.
Yeah, it's true. And you made a really good point. The recruit training at the beginning would be incredible. And it's just another tool, right? Like, everybody's got tools that they use to just regulate, or, just to mellow out, to calm down. Regulate feels like it's overused, but but having one and getting them at the beginning. And so many times I've had people who are retired now, who are now volunteering, and they say this to me all the time. I never had this. I never had this. When I started, I never had this. And they're coming now after all this time. We're quite innovative, quite, I guess, proactive, and takes a special person to, after all these years, and be grandfathered in such a kind of a hierarchical role, to be open to new things. It's often, there's a closed down approach, but to see people who went through a full career and are now volunteering and are experimenting at the ages of, maybe early 60s, it's pretty cool. And, you think, even when people ask me, like, oh, you get all the young, you find me a husband, you get all the young, or whatever.
Yeah.
They would be so surprised, because the age, it's so all ages, it's all level, at all years of experience, 1 year to chief, it's recruit to chief, right? It's female, male, there's no limits to it. There's no, and then you can't put a, I couldn't even give you an average of like, oh, what's the average type of person in your room? It's everyone. It's everyone. So seeing that is actually quite compelling as well.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, like we always say, yoga is for everybody, it's for everybody, it's for everybody. Like it's for every person. We all need that time with our bodies to move in a way that makes us feel good, to sit and like again, just sit with what's going on in your body. And some days you go into your class and you're fucking good to go. You're just like, yeah, I feel great. I got nothing. I'm like, you woo, great, feeling good. Stretching is good. Other days you come in and you're super heavy, and that needs to be a slower practice, or you need to take a little bit more time in a certain pose, and then it finally lets go. Like, so I think that that's totally true too, that it ranges from everything, all shapes, all sizes, all ages, all genders, like, and that's great. That's great to hear that it isn't just like, oh, there's like an average group or an average people that come. I want you to kind of take me back to the teacher training, because I really love that you as a business owner are like more about sharing this information rather than like it's for me. And I laugh that you say about Flahr, about how they like to keep everything internal. I have never met an agency, or like I guess like a not an agency because they're all different, but like career path that is that internal. Like they don't like no outsiders. And I'm like, just okay. But also, hey, guys, we got some good shit to share. So just open up just a little bit. And I get it, like they're in that, it's their hall, it's their family, it's their house, it's their like, there's a lot more to Flahr about it being internal than it is for, like police and paramedics and military and corrections and things like that. But I do find that they are very like, no, we want it. And then we'll, like you said, and then you go away and we'll do it. So tell me about this teacher training. Can anybody take it? I want our listeners, because I know I'm like already, I was like, I would like to take this training. And I know about 3 other people that would like to take this training. So what is it? What does it entail?
Yeah. I must say, with the Flahr, keeping it in the family, totally. And I don't have much experience working with other first responders other than nurses, but it feels like you're in the family though. Once you're in, like I could be fed. And nowadays for myself personally, because I'm on the island, right? I'm in so many fire departments, like way from one end to the other. Like I am, and so I'm driving, and if I ever had a problem, like honestly, I could just keep driving. Oh, they'll get me, like no problem. Like I could, the whole island, I could just be driving up and wave to, like I know most of the Flahr. It's hilarious that I know I could be no problem. Every time a truck goes by, give them a wave because they probably know them. Probably saw them like upside down last week. So it's like, whatever, right? But yes, for the teacher training, so it's 4 hours, and we go over basic anatomy, physiology in the beginning, just a rough overview. And then from there, we look at the why behind the training. And then we look at what it's not. So this might be, this is obviously of interest to you because you're a teacher yourself, but sometimes yoga teachers will take the training. And so I share the differences between what I teach and how I deliver in a fire department versus how I deliver in my community classes, because I teach to the community too. And so the differences between like what I don't do, we go through breathing physiology, we go through anatomy and then the postures. We go through, and then we go through practice. So they get a chance to experience the sequence themselves without right out of the gate. And then we practice leading the breath, which is often training wheels come off if you've never led, right? Never trained. You have all the resources, the videos, the booklets, it's all there for you. And then we finish with some case studies. So real events that I've had in departments, and they work up in partners, and we look at so it's 6:15 and you're about to teach a yoga class and you've set up all your mats and a call comes in. What do you do? And then just hear what they have to say. And then I share some real tangible information so that people can be prepared, right?
Yeah.
And we wrap up. They have a test to write. People have a knowledge recall to do. They pass the recall and they go through shadowing sessions, either online or in person. And then they get kind of ticked off to fly. And then either they'll be trainer, they'll work somewhere on the island in one of the contracts that I already have, where they just take the information, a big thank you, and I'm going to take this to my people.
That's incredible. And you do it all in one day. So like the 4 hours is like the straight chunk.
Get it done.
That's
Get it
yeah.
done.
Yeah. I like that as a kind of that immersive, because I do feel like there's benefits in like, I think in taking something that is this like body heavy and taking it in like little chunks so that like people can process like, okay, the anatomy side of things, okay, the breath, like physiology, like that type of stuff. But there's also that like, let's just dive in and let's fully commit to 4 hours. And when you come out of it on the other side, you're going to have this incredible toolkit that you can then go forward with and teach. Like that is awesome to me, because I think that's another side of things for like, if anybody is interested in the training, or if you were interested in, you know, like becoming a yoga teacher, is like when you hear like the 200-hour program, it's like, holy fuck, like who has 200 hours to become an instructor, right? Because like literally every other fitness, like honestly, every other fitness instructor, like I've taken all the courses, it's an 8-hour course, it's a 16-hour course, it's like a 4-hour course, right? To learn how to teach this, whatever, this class or this, you know, style of class. Yoga is 200 hours. And then people are like, what the fuck, 200 hours? Like, I don't have time to do that. But this is something they could take, not as a yoga instructor, just as a lay person, and then still bring back to their agency and be able to share it with their agency, which I think is incredible, because that empowers that person in that they don't need to commit to the cost and the time for a 200-hour certification, but you're still going to walk away with what is actually functionally working and will make an impact, that like statistically has made impacts.
Say, you asked who could take it, and you're right, everybody can take it. And in British Columbia, kinesiologists or student kinesiologists, they actually can get 3 professional development. So the curriculum's been passed, so they can get 3 continuing education credits to participate. Yoga Alliance is a little bit not as, you can count it as hours spent in training. So you can count it as 4 hours toward your training if you're certified with Yoga Alliance. But right, lots of people just come take the training and then they learn it. And then you learn even just 15-minute chunks. How could I buck this up? My crew isn't going to commit to 45 minutes. I don't have 45 minutes, but I teach you in the training, how can you make it 15? Just a 15-minute, or if you only had 10 minutes, what would you do? You know, you go through all of that. So
that's brilliant.
Full on.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, I want to go back to some of your like schooling, because I really, again, I'm fascinated by the body and by what you would have learned. So cool that you went to Australia too. Also on my bucket list, would love to fucking go. But what was it that you found? You said, sorry, you did your master's down in Australia, or was that your PhD?
Master's.
So, and what, like, was there certain things that you found? Because you said it's 2 years straight of studying shift workers, essentially. Was there certain things that you found in that schooling that are specific to shift workers that are different from the workers in the bank, or different from the beyond like what we've kind of talked about, like can't turn their brains off, need that control? Like, was there anything else physiologically that was like stood out to you or that you learned?
Yeah. So my full thesis was basically physical activity in shift workers, and I was building evidence to inform health promotion practices. So that's kind of what I was doing there. And I started by just seeing what exactly, like, what has anyone ever tried to put physical activity into the life of a shift worker? So this is somebody who would work a rotational shift. Somebody maybe does a 12-hour shift. Work is categorized in many different ways, but maybe a 12-hour shift or even 24-hour shift. So I classified it as anything that's not typical to your 9 to 5, right? And so I first looked at, has anyone done anything here? Has anyone tried to put physical activity initiatives? And what mostly at the time when I was studying, it probably is different now, it's always growing. It was, we threw a gym down the hall on the 4th floor of the hospital. Sweet. Cool. Okay. Did you show anyone how to use the gym? Like, that was pretty much what I was getting. That was like, I'm scanning the literature. Mm-hmm. There was a couple, but not much. And so the second part was, okay, well, what's stopping people and what are the barriers? And so to your question about, is there anything different to shift workers? I think that the primary barriers that I found to them was sleep was huge. If you're wrecked, really hard to move. You have to kind of push through it. Mm-hmm. So having the sleep, the inaccessibility, those were the 2 main ones. It was just like not accessible. Like I just worked a night shift. I live in a small town. There's 1 yoga class and it's like while I'm working, So those
Mm.
accessibility and sleep were the primary barriers. And then, and the third one was childcare, like not having support, which are all, you could argue, are all like 9-to-5ers. They're tired, but a different level of that.
Mhm.
You could hear it when you were doing the interviews with them. You could hear it in their voice. It's a different beast.
Mm-hmm.
And so the second part, and this might be the nugget of the podcast here, but so the second part of my study, rather than look at all of the people, the reasons why they don't exercise, I wanted to look at the people that were exercising, the people who were actually making their physical activity goals, and they were doing so irrespective of the shift work that they were doing. And so I had a data set of 175 nurses, and their activity levels were measured. And so I took the top tier, I think it was the top 10 or 15, and I started to ask them what their strategies were. Like, what are your you work rotational night shift as a nurse? That's awful. And it's busy and it's hectic. And you're still managing to get all of your physical activity in. So how are you doing this? And they gave me this collection of all of these strategies. And so what I did was I sorted through them, categorized, and they gave me 4 real takeaways, 4 big ones that they do all the time that keeps them on the ball when they're falling off the ball, exercise related, not related to yoga, exercise related. Number 1, accountability, having a partner. So somebody that's going to show up. We're both going for a walk before shift, or we're both meeting at the gym, or I've got a trainer and they're coming, or I'm signing up and I just paid $25 for a drop-in, but you're coming. Accountability. Number 2 was just scheduling it in general. So having it in your calendar here, this is the day, these are the days, right at the beginning of the week. These are the days that I'm doing this. Number 3 was, we got the buddy, we got the calendar. Number 3 was doing something that they liked. So they didn't even care, if today it's the gym, but I can't lift a weight tomorrow, I'm going to just go for a little walk and then maybe I'll jog it out at the end. So doing something that you like, as long as you're just doing something. And then the 4th was dialing in the sleep the best that they could. And that was a hard one, but just getting the sleep as best as they possibly could. So having a buddy, getting it in the calendar, getting the sleep, and I already forgot the last one.
Doing the thing they like.
Doing the thing they like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't punish yourself. You'll come back stronger the next time.
Totally. Because I think back as you were saying it, I was like, before you kind of got to the nugget, I was thinking, how did I do it? Because I always I had to, because I would have literally gone fucking mentally insane if I didn't work out. Like that's something that I've always been though my entire life. And so for me, it was like, well, I'm working out on my lunch hour, like every lunch, day 6, like days 1 to 6, I work out on my lunch hour. It were some days harder than others. Yep. Were some days I was fucking dragging ass to get up there. And did I want to make the excuses to not go? Yes. But like I fucking did it, because otherwise I'd be mad at myself. Days off. Okay. Well, you're still doing like things. And again, it was all things I like to do. If I had to like go for a run, fuck that. Like if that was my like work, like we gotta go for a run, I'd be like, you can fucking run, I'm gonna fucking go do this. Like I'm not doing that. Right. Like, so it's finding the thing you like to do. It's finding a time that you can do it. And again, sometimes that means you're doing it on your lunch hour. Sometimes it means you're doing it before shift. Sometimes it means you're doing it after shift, even if you are fucking tired. But I will say, when you exercise regularly, you sleep better anyways. Like, so it's like, you're not even like, that's kind of like a default one, is that you are going to sleep better if you are exercising. So add it in and you'll see that change. So yeah. And the buddy thing, totally. Like if I think for me, I was more, cause I've always been like a solo worker outer, put my earphones on, don't talk to me, I'm over here doing my thing. But it was more the accountability with myself of like, if you don't go, you're going to be mad at yourself and you're going to be pissed off that you didn't go, and you're going to, get upset that you made excuses. And so just fucking go. Like the amount of time you sat here making excuses, you could have gone and worked out, like go fucking upstairs and work out. Right. So yeah, I think that's very true. No, those are great. That is really great. Cause that's what I was like, how did I do it? You just do it. And I think part of it too, though, is like that discipline of like, this is important to me. And so therefore I am going to prioritize it. And I find, unfortunately, with like some first responder people, it's that they don't prioritize that, or they don't prioritize themselves until it's not too late, but it's like so much further gone than it could have been if they'd started that regular physical activity. Like I see it all the time, Blue Line. They work their ass off to pass their fitness test to get the job. They come back to me in a year because now they want to trade or they want to go to a different agency. They've gained 15 pounds. They have not worked out for the last 10, 11 months since they passed, and they're back worse than they were when they first came to see me to pass the test. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, you knew how hard the test is not a surprise. Like, you knew how fucking hard it was. You knew how hard you had to work to pass it the first time. Why the fuck would you let yourself go for this last year? Like, come on. But it's that, well, I'm busy and I'm tired and working overtime. And like, okay, but again, your body, you have to live in your body for your whole life, people. You have to live in your body for your whole life.
What? And those CPATs and POPATs are no joke. In university, I used to run them, like just with the ex-biz group, and those are no joke. That's CPAT. Those jumps.
Like crazy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. And that is the misconception too, is people are like, oh, like it's 4 minutes of running. I can run for 4 minutes. I'm like, it ain't 4 fucking minutes of running. Let me do them right now. Let's stop that myth right now. So, okay, well, we've covered a lot and you've given me like so much good information. I've love this. I knew I would love this one, but I absolutely love this one. So we're going to wrap up just some quick rapid fire questions. So number 1, what would be your recommendation, or what is your favorite food or snack for fueling your body when you're tired and you need that little energy kick?
I'm so meticulous about my apples. Like, it has to be crunchy. It has to be so good. It has to be polished with, like, I live for an apple. I live for a crispy apple, preferably Red Delicious, but I'll do Gala.
It's awesome, because I totally agree. Have you ever taken a bite of an apple and just been so disappointed? And then you're like, I don't even want to eat the rest of this apple because it's fucking gross. And I'm like so sad about it because I was so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yes. My husband won't eat them unless they're cold. So like if he's always like, I have to plan my apples. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I have to put them in the fridge so that they're like the perfect coldness before I eat them. And I'm like, you're fucking weird.
Full respect to him. Shut up.
I know, but literally, I started thinking about it. I was like, I do actually like a cold apple too, actually. You're right. No, that's good. And apple's good. It's portable, it's biodegradable, fills you up. It's delicious. Yep, I like it.
You go right to the core, though? Like, you go right to the core or past the core?
No, gross. My husband will eat the whole fucking thing. No, I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? No, I I'll eat to the core, but I'm not one of those people that leaves the whole, where there's you could easily get 4 more bites in of the core. No, I'll eat to the core, but I'm not the eat the whole core. No, you eat the core, don't you?
not the whole core, but I get real close. Like, you can get a bite off that thing.
Awesome. That is awesome. Yes. Okay. I like it. Okay. Number 2, what is the coolest fire hall or location that you've been able to teach at? Because I think, having been across the whole island, oh, wow, what's been the coolest one?
Recently I actually went and taught at a wildfire base in Port Alberni, and it was outside, and it's a different breed, totally different breed, but we were outside on their base. And so there's helicopters and, just unique, just things that are atypical. So that was a pretty cool spot. And I also taught actually at Climb the Wall, which is the Sheridan Wall Center in Vancouver. It's a big event with BC lung cancer, and it's the firefighters climb all the flights of stairs all the way up. So I had a couple of departments here who were training to do it, and then I went over and I taught on the stage there for a 15-minute cool down for everybody there, and that was pretty cool too. I ended at a couple yoga mats. It was fun.
That's awesome. That is so cool. I would love to do something like that. That's very cool. The teaching outside, I've been teaching outside this summer for the first time. Normally I teach because I teach indoors usually. Yeah. And it's a whole different level. different noises. Where I'm teaching, the airport is right there. So there's like planes flying over this. And it's like, you just don't take that into consideration normally when you're teaching. And then I'm like, okay, everybody, we'll just have to wait. The plane takes off. You're like, okay, and now we'll continue. Like, it's unique. But teaching outside, there's something about being outside again, just feeling like the breeze and like but then you also get, what smell are you getting that's coming? Because sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad when you're outside, right? Like, but yeah, it's a good experience to teach outside. Okay. And then the last one, I think I'm just going to like ask you just a totally random, super fun one. What's the biggest surprise that you've had in the last few months and why?
Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, I got a scholarship to go to an international yoga conference in Barcelona. And so my teacher that I learned from years and years ago was there, and all these amazing, highly credible, the masters in the world are all congregating, they teaching there. So I had 5 girlfriends from different parts of Europe, and we all met up and stayed in a house. And, you know, I thought I could rally, like I could get myself together and like I could stay up later than I needed to. And these girls go and they eat dinner because they're European at 10 o'clock. And so something that was very much surprised me was that the first 2 nights I just was being kind. So I showed up, I came to dinner, I'm falling asleep at the table. Like I'm a mess. Can't keep it together. Like, oh my God, what's wrong with the Canadian? She's lost. Like, come on, get it together. Sorry. Night 2, I try again. Can't eat though. Again, barely can eat. Night 3, they just actually said, you know what? Don't come. Like, because you're actually embarrassing us at this point. So what I learned about myself is like, you know what? I can't do the past 10 p.m. dinner thing. Like, I can't do that. It's amazing that people can do that in their country, but it's not for me. Can't do that. No.
It is. There is like there. It's very funny how totally different the sides of the world are. Like the North American world and like the timings and the routines of things, and then like the European side of the world, and like it's two totally. And you're just like, I'm sorry, what? 10 p.m. What? Wait, supper at 10 p.m. Or we're going out, and then we're gonna be out all night till 6 a.m. And then we're gonna sleep, and then we're gonna eat, and then we're gonna sleep again, and then we're gonna do some stuff, and then we're gonna have supper at 10 p.m. again. Okay, I just need my body just needs a second to catch up.
I honestly think they felt sorry for me, if I'm being really honest, because by the 3rd day at the actual yoga, like I flew to the other side of the world to do this yoga with them. Like I love the girls, connected, we're so alive. But the 3rd day, I was actually falling asleep. Like I was falling asleep in the classes. And they're like, okay, Hannah, that's enough. Like that's enough. We're hurting her. Like that's enough. And I'm like, thank you. Wow, I got a hall pass. I can't do this. Yeah, all good. So I can't rally. I can't.
It's good to know that about yourself though. It's good to know, because then you're just like, there's no expectations. My friends know that I am not a 10 p.m.er, so it is what it is. Well, girl, this has been fantastic. Like, again, such great knowledge, such good work that you're doing. Like for this, like all of our first responders, for all of our shift workers, like I am pumped to learn about this. We're going to put all the information on how to get this teacher training in the show notes. We're going to share it out. If you are interested in this, guys, I will have Hannah's information. You can reach out to her, learn more, talk to her. I'll be putting it all out there on socials and everything. So watch for that. And if you're listening to this episode and you loved it and you were like, holy shit, these are 2 totally rad women and they talk about rad things, I want you to right now text your best friend and be like, I just listened to the coolest podcast ever and you should listen to it too, because the more people that can hear this stuff, the more people that learn about it, the more we can share with the world all these amazing things that Hannah and Regulate the Responder are doing. So do that. Follow the show, like it, subscribe to it, and hopefully we can spread the word even further. But it's been a slice. Do you have any last words for our listeners?
No, none. Just keep going. And if you got a creative idea, don't be afraid to try it.
Love that. Absolutely. Jump on it, run with it, because you never know where it'll take you. Well, that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in, listening, giving me your time, your energy, and your attention. I completely appreciate it. Make sure you check out our next episode with another badass female first responder anywhere you get your favorite podcasts. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at bluelinefitnesstesting.com. I hope you stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and watch your six. Blue Line Fitness Testing is a premier law enforcement fitness testing and training center based in Edmonton. Specializing in helping individuals prepare for the physical demands of a career in law enforcement, we offer comprehensive fitness evaluations, specialized training programs, and classes tailored to meet the unique needs of our clients. Our facility hosts a range of classes and are committed to fostering a supportive and empowering environment where clients can achieve their fitness goals. Our team includes experienced trainers who bring specialized expertise in law enforcement, self-defense, personal training, and rehabilitation. We engage through our community through challenges, events, and our podcast, and we are dedicated to helping individuals succeed in their fitness journeys and career aspirations in law enforcement. Are you looking to get started with your career? Come see Blue Line Fitness Testing, and we'll get you there.